Before this video begins, I want to take a moment to reflect on one of the biggest tragedies of the year, the unfortunate passing of Jason David Frank. Of course, he was the backbone of the Power Rangers franchise, not only for his portrayal of Tommy Oliver that spanned decades and solidified the legacy of Power Rangers, but also just as himself, as a member of this community that genuinely seemed to love the fans and the franchise that made him a global icon. But more importantly, a husband, a father, and a normal man lost his life. The world won't be the same without him, and my heart goes out to his friends and family who may be suffering because of this. Please remember that if you are suffering, find someone to talk to. There's always a person who will listen. You're never alone. Now we'll move on to more positive things in the year. I just wanted to take a quick moment to address this. 2022 has been quite a year in the world of tokusatsu franchises. It's actually been a year unlike any other, in my opinion. The different stories we've come to expect at this point were filled with so many new and different concepts compared to their predecessors. It felt like more than ever people were pushing the limits of tokusatsu, tackling heavy real-world issues with breathtaking reimaginings, subverting the self-contained storylines we've grown accustomed to, and branching out into multiple unique takes on sequels, and just shattering our expectations for what we think these franchises can do. It was awesome. I had so much fun watching the tokusatsu shows and movies that were released in 2022, especially with the community. Because of that, I wanted to look back on the best parts of 2022 tokusatsu, not in my opinion, but from the perspective of the community. Take a look back on the year one last time before leaping into the unknown future together. What were our favorite moments in tokusatsu this year? I have no idea. Let's find out. It would be a huge understatement to say that Kamen Rider Revice didn't have a massive presence throughout the year, given how it aired throughout most of it, alongside a bunch of other side content, with plenty still coming out and on the horizon even after its finale. Aiden says that while Thundergale is an alright form, the development to it in the debut made it great in-universe, especially the moment between Iki and Vice, creating the Vice stamp. Eguze really enjoyed the final battle between Revi and Daimon from the Battle Familia movie. A lot of people really enjoyed the debut of Evility Live, such as Edward Lowe, speaking about the Mirage Mirror song playing in the background. Similarly, Jordan, Pao, and Zeospace really enjoyed the fight between Hiromi and Daiji leading up to the debut of the Evility form itself. While CK Studios just really enjoyed the return of Kagero after he died early on in the show. A sentiment that Hikaru shared. Mono Shin really enjoyed Dear Gaga's tale about enjoying what you still have, grief, and self-forgiveness, and despite Toxie having many favorite moments in Revice, Dear Gaga definitely comes in at the top of their list. Cadian is another who definitely enjoyed many moments in Revice, such as the Wolf Deadman fight, the Deathstream and Crimson Veil fight, and the Juga debut, which is actually a sentiment many of you follow as well. Pokemon Dog Show enjoys the Juga arc because they relate to it, but also similarly enjoy the Veil and Genta fight. One of Killer Look's favorite moments overall in Kamen Rider is actually the Juga fight, and Alpha 5 wishes we got more of Juga. But that Kamen Rider Deathstream fight. Anthony Thomas Jr. thought the battle against Crimson Veil was truly outstanding. Gospel considers the fight the peak of Revice. Similarly, It's Hunyang considers it emotional and peak. John thinks it's incredibly meaningful, heartfelt, and badass. Rage in Asian has never been as hyped as Genta transforming into Deathstream to fight Veil. Toku Thoughts greatly enjoys the fight because of the My Dream song that played during it. Zenith is another person who considers the fight peak Revice, while Ace considers it one of their favorite fights in Toku because of the music, dialogue, and the way it ends. Lawden and Mega Septile enjoy this fight as well, but they also enjoy the finale, which is definitely a place that a lot of people found similarities in. Slimy enjoyed it for the surprise that they actually killed off Vice. Stanley enjoys the showcase of Vice as a great partner and demon. Vincent enjoys the showcase of Vice's relationship with Iki. And Connor Milne enjoys the final fight in Revice as well for the fact it isn't really much of a fight. Given how Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger ended early on in the year, it didn't have as huge of a presence as a lot of other franchises that I'm going to be talking about, but it still had a lot of people's favorite moments. Rumba Tump really enjoyed episode 43 of Zenkaiger because of the actor it featured as a monster, while everyone else seems to really enjoy that ending. Bacon Mittens thought it just really made them happy. Ayan Hyojin Kel also enjoyed the finale. Zenkai Pool enjoyed the fight between Kaito and God and the usage of all the suits throughout throughout the show, capping it off with rock, paper, scissors, which Emerald Ranger also enjoyed the rock, paper, scissors fight, and Neon Nava just enjoys the finale in general. And last but not least, Spider Guy's favorite moment was Majin's fight against Omikoji World's Luck with all the Zenkaiders until she managed to beat it herself, which also happens to be my favorite moment. I thought it was really great. Ultraman throughout the year is pretty interesting in my opinion. Even though Ultraman Trigger ended in January, because Ultraman Decker is a sequel to it, Trigger still managed to contribute to some of the best parts of the year. Let's Play GG enjoyed the actual final episode of Trigger just before things took a turn and he went into a completely different show, which just so happens to be Izzle's favorite moment. Dresden also enjoyed the crossover between the characters, but for the fact it played off of that ending of Trigger in a bit of a different way. Black Metal Master enjoyed the fight with the sphere-enhanced Terraphaser, Trash Toku enjoyed the return of Dyna, and Moonshark enjoyed the return of Monsarger after 25 years. Future Decker plays into a bit of people's favorite moments. Zoro really enjoyed the backstory that it provided for the season. Arya Raj really enjoyed the shocking twist it provided and also just how badass Future Decker himself is, which ultimately played into Decker Dynamics' debut. GMK Goji enjoyed seeing him wreck things in the first fight. Love and Peace considers the entire debut itself a special moment. Evan enjoys the hot-blooded reaction that the form provided. Jason thinks the rise itself is pretty great. And tying everything together, Jinga enjoys how the future segment provides backstory that ultimately builds into the debut of a new form.
Hello everybody in TV land. Vaughn here, Mr. Cooper 92, and I am here to talk about my favorite tokusatsu moment of 2022. Thomas invited me. I'm not sure why, because I'm me. But I definitely want to make sure that you know, like, well, my favorite moments. I had a lot, as you can tell on my Twitter and everything else. But one thing I will want to talk about will be something that probably somebody won't be mentioning here will be Ultraman. So my favorite moment in 2022 is pretty much the moment when Kanata realized who Ultraman Decker was, the actual being that was talking to his head. This was after everything when he found out the true identity of A-Gams. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched Ultraman Decker, because some of y'all don't watch Ultraman. But just finding out the realization, like, who Decker is and what's his mission is and like what's his purpose and why he came to the past. And the connection between him, iGames, and who else is that? Spear? Yeah, Spear. And just seeing like where they all tie in together and how they're gonna tie into the story overall. And it was also the big debut of Dynamic Type, pretty much the final form of Ultraman Decker. So learning all of that and getting those moments about learning Decker's true identity and how he's connected to Kanata and everybody else was amazing. I love it so much. It was pretty good. And yeah, that's pretty much my favorite moment. I hope you like it. Thomas, thank you for inviting me. Invite me again for more videos soon, please. And yeah, I hope you enjoy 2022. And goodbye.
What I find really interesting about Ultraman is all the cool things that happened over the course of the year that weren't just the standard shows. In Ultra Galaxy Fight, The Destined Crossroad, Mandalore really enjoyed the arrival of the American Ultras, while ZU enjoys just the fact it was an addition to the cliffhanger of the Absolute Conspiracy, and also the novelty that international fans got to see it before the Japanese fans. Joro enjoys the cameo of Nexus in the miniseries, and Classified Zero enjoys the climactic fight on Planet Blizzard that ended out the entire special itself. And then there is Shin Ultraman. Mako enjoys every scene with the rise, while Dark Neko enjoys the build up to the finale and the finale itself for the reimagining of the classic Ultraman. But Neko Hero Cross's favorite part of it was the novelty of being able to watch it officially, and this doesn't apply to just Ultraman. I thought one of the most exciting parts of the year was how much awesome stuff there was. I say stuff in general because it was incredible how diverse everything was. Metal Heroes received a lot of love this year despite no actual new content being released. Godzilla got the announcement of a new movie coming out next year, and we got plenty of other offerings. Host of Hostar's favorite moment was the CSM Deca Driver version 2 for the overhaul that it provided on the original version of the toy. While technically not tokusatsu, comics, cards, cartoons, and more enjoyed the tokusatsu adjacent animes of Futopia and Love After World Domination. And despite Saber airing last year, many enjoyed the V cinema that aired this year, such as ZX and Hat ND, who just enjoyed the entirety of the movie, while Flame Blade specifically enjoys the Arabiana Knights debut fight scene. And lastly, Bellerum Wade really enjoyed the announcement of the Hurricaneer and Ava Ranger 20 Years After movies, which will be seeing releases in the upcoming years. While Kamen Rider is going to be releasing its own big reimagining next year, in the meantime we got another incredible reimagining show in the form of Kamen Rider Black Sun, the modern reinterpretation of Kamen Rider Black. Gaming with Charlton, Mr. N, Taiga Taro, and Nika Video's favorite moments was Kotaro's first tension into Kamen Rider Black Sun. Meanwhile, Eliezer Cardoso, Uncreative Idiot, and Prince Merlin really enjoyed the fight between Black Sun and Shadow Moon that happened at the climactic finale. And a lot of people's favorite moments were just the finale itself, such as Peachy and Quantum Exia enjoying the reference to the original Black intro sequence, and KR Spirit referencing the final emotional moment of the show as their favorite scene.
Hi everyone, my name is Gia, or Gili. I am a graphic designer on Twitter. I sometimes make thumbnails for your favorite tokutuber. Whoever you want to think that is up to you. But I run a podcast every week called College Boy Tyson, where I talk about Geats and honestly whatever else me and my co-host Digital Jacob want to talk about. Go check me out. My favorite toku moment of 2022. That's really an interesting question for me. Because for me, it was something I never really expected I would like at all. When Toei announced the Kamen Rider 50th anniversary, there was a whole live stream that basically I had to wake up at 6 a.m. for or something. It was really early, but they announced 3 things. They announced Shin Kamen Rider, Futopia, and finally Kamen Rider Black Sun. A Amazon-style remake of Kamen Rider Black. I have not seen Black. I have not seen Black RX. I do not care for them at all. So I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, I guess. I might watch it. It's already started off as something that I don't care about, and something that I wouldn't seem like I would love. And then trailers and merchandise came out for it. These shirts that were invoking a kind of insensitive message at the time, and a trailer that was kind of suspicious looking. It gave off a worrisome vibe about the issues it was going to tackle, especially for something with Kamen Rider. It is an issue that Kamen Rider has either tackled in a half-decent way or absolutely terrible. So that's 2 things for me. A lack of interest for the source material, a lack of care, really. If it was just going to be like kind of fake edgy Amazon stuff, I wasn't really going to care. And now it's tackling something that the franchise is kind of bad at tackling. This show had all reason to be like one of my most hated things of all time. And then it finally came out. My favorite toku moment of the year is when Kamen Rider Black Sun dropped on Amazon Prime globally. When Thomas asked me to do this, I knew for a fact it was going to be Black Sun, but I really couldn't pinpoint where. Whether it's the first time Kotaro turns into Black Sun, or when Shadow Moon has this big moment where he takes out the guy. You know if you know. I'm not really looking to spoil big here, but after just thinking about it all, I learned that I can't really pick one. Asking me to pick a favorite moment from this show is genuinely asking the world of me, because I love this entire show. Down from the action, to the directing, to the cinematography, to the soundtrack, to the special effects work, to the fight choreography. Did I say fight choreography already? This show is perfect. Not only as something Kamen Rider related, but just as a story as a whole. It's something similar to Kuga to me, where I can't just rank it as a Tokusatsu series or a Kamen Rider series. I have to rank it somewhere as television in my heart. This is one of Toei's big plans to globally stretch out the franchise. And putting this foot forward, this was one of Toei's big announcements to the world that, hey, this is Kamen Rider. We came from a time where it was simply just karate bugman suits. And granted, it still is, but Black Sun is truly a piece of media that shows that Kamen Rider is truly a vessel. It is a vessel for whatever writer or team is behind it to tell whatever story they want to. And it's very fortunate that this one story right here happened to be written and backed by people who care, who truly do care about the issues that they tackle. I'm not one that thinks that Kamen Rider should be all dark now and edgy and not for kids. And Black Sun is definitely not for kids. But Black Sun gives me hope that this same amount of nuance, even if people's guts aren't getting ripped out, can be assimilated into the franchise as a whole moving forward. And my god, Did You See the Sunrise is one of the best Tokusatsu songs ever. Thanks, Thomas, for letting me be here.
Variation of media applies to Power Rangers as well. Power Rangers Dino Fury aired its second season over the course of the year, which included the Hunt episode, which Overdright Stop Motion says is their favorite moment in the season, specifically for the way it adapted their favorite episode of Ryu Soldier with a new twist and a new reimagining in the classic Power Rangers format, while Kento TV really enjoyed how the finale tied everything together, including the introduction of the new White Ranger suit. But it also managed to make a huge splash just through announcements alone. We haven't seen any footage of Cosmic Fury yet, but the fact we're going to be getting a season of Power Rangers with original suits in totally original ground fights is such an exciting new twist for the franchise.
Hey everybody, it's Josh from Toku Topics, and my favorite Toku moment from 2022. Honestly, it was kind of hard to decide which one to go with here, but I was thinking like one for Power Rangers that I thought was really, really cool, and one for Sentai that I thought was really, really cool. Not that Rider didn't have some cool moments, of course, but honestly, I have to go with just everything we've seen so far for Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. Starting from the announcement that happened during Power Morphicon, that was absolutely crazy, to the suit reveals at Hasbro PulseCon and the 1027 event. I'm so excited for everything that Power Rangers has planned for 2023. I think the 30th anniversary is definitely on track to be something really, really special, and something that is going to be a big milestone for Power Rangers fans. It's going to be one of those iconic moments that we look back on in the franchise, I think, because of the anniversary special coming out with the Mighty Morphin cast, and with the continuation of Dino Fury's storyline for a third season, which is something that just doesn't usually happen like at all for Power Rangers. I think we're heading into some really interesting territory here that is just going to be super exciting to see unfold, and I'm all here for it. I'm so excited for it. We're finally getting sort of a Q Ranger adaptation with the Zords coming over to Cosmic Fury, which I think is going to be really fun. I'd love to see Hasbro tackle those on the toy line, because I never got the original Q Ranger toys, so it's got to be everything for Power Rangers Cosmic Fury, and I'm so excited to see it drop on Netflix in 2023. Now, for the Sentai thing, I'm not going to cover every franchise, but I have to mention, before I wrap it up here, I have to talk about the return of Ranger Keys in a lot more of a further capacity, thanks to the TTFC specials with the 2 Kaiser versus Gokaiger, and the adapter unit for the Gokai Cellular, and we got Donbrothers keys and everything, so the keys are pretty close to coming back in like a full capacity, exactly what I've always wanted them to do for like half of a decade. So I have to mention that, because how could I not? They're Ranger Keys, and I love Ranger Keys quite a bit.
My favorite Tokusatsu moment of 2022 was something that we didn't even see in any of the shows. It was when both Ryota Ozawa and Andrew Gray posed for a picture together at this year's Power Morphicon. It's been almost 10 years since Super Mega Force, and it's obviously been more than 10 years since Gokaiger has happened, and both Captain Marvelous and Troy have become big characters in their franchises in their own respectable ways. Some obviously more respected than others. However, we've seen in the last 5 years people who grew up with Megaforce and Super Megaforce come out the water, and some of us older fans who are going back to these seasons and seeing some of its shining parts. So for something that fans have clashed together for many years, posing in a photo together really shows a lot. And that's unity. Whether you like Power Rangers more or Super Sentai more, they both entertain us, the Tokusatsu fan, the same audience. So if you were a Power Rangers fan or a Super Sentai fan, you gotta admit, this photo was definitely legendary. Pun intended.
Oh yeah, Power Morphicon happened too, which is one of my personal highlights of the year. Not just because it was my first Power Morphicon, but it was Power Morphicon. I can't wait to go back in 2024. Anyways, back on topic. Kamen Rider Geats may have made its entry into the world of Tokusatsu somewhat late into the year, but it's already made the top moment for a lot of fans. For plenty of you, it was love at first sight. Rocket Shark really enjoyed Geats' first henshin, saying they haven't been this hyped for a first transformation since Build. Darth Wang enjoyed the overall episode for the change of pace it provided, functioning sort of as the ending arc of a different show. Ginga Runner really enjoyed the way it introduced the characters and the world the show takes place in. It already gives Izzle versus some nostalgia, and Fotis Mavridis really enjoyed how different the episode was, just straight up killing a character inside of it. Since then, a lot of you grew attached to the character of Kamen Rider Tycoon. Lance Salzman enjoyed the team up with Buffa in one episode. APN enjoyed Kamen Rider Tycoon's first henshin into ninja form, partly because of their enjoyment of Keiwa and their enjoyment of ninjas. This is a moment that Shiro can relate to, as they greatly enjoyed Keiwa's sacrifice to defeat the canned Jamato. Madao just enjoyed Keiwa using the buckle because of his pose, and Rare's Andre enjoyed the usage of ninja boost form, which Neurotoxin can attest to, as their favorite moment is Kamen Rider Shinobi's appearance when he said, "It's Shin." Many of you also enjoyed Tycoon's return in the season after he was temporarily eliminated, such as Aoki Hagane specifically enjoying Keiwa's combo fight with Geats, which is a sentiment Gary Jean Just can relate to, stating that this is the most hype they've ever felt for the season. And Suhan Huang really enjoyed that it shows that not even the DGP's mind-wiping powers can keep his luck out of the show. A luck that gave him the boost buckle many times, but never actually let him use it at first, which is Doid's favorite moment in the show. Garrison enjoyed that Neon's bodyguards were revealed to previously be DGP riders. Enigmatic enjoyed the reveal that the Ryuki riders would be making appearances in the crossover film. Kiyoyo liked the Ace and Neon team-up fight that we received early on into the show for the choreography, and Ryugen liked that Geats barely used his main form in the first few arcs of the season. Form debuts were pretty popular choices in general. Texas really enjoyed the pretty effects that the Command Twin Buckle received for its first usage, and many enjoyed the first debut of Kamen Rider Glare, such as Travis Alpasa and Metal Build, while Manabu and Forest Dude greatly enjoyed the usage of Punk Jack. But easily the most popular debut has to be Fever Slot, Movie Buff 3000, Mr. S, Kamen Rider Saga, Deku Squad, and Jorior Yuri all cite the moment as when the 5 riders hit their matching buckles and acquire their fever forms as their favorite moment in Tokusatsu in the year. And even though we're still early on into the show, Nick, The Tycoon, Oryuken, Cool Caleb, Aiden, Parker, and Dead Galaxy all cite the entirety of Kamen Rider Geats as their favorite moment.
My favorite thing that happened in Tokusatsu in the year 2022 were Geats' henshin poses. Geats' riders all have something so different from one another. I just really, really love that. I'm also moving my hands a bunch just because I'm thinking of everybody's thing. You know, like Buffa's thing where he does like the cool thing and like all the little notes that just really make a pose that much cooler. Aside from weapons, powers, and suits, it's just really cool to see something else that separates each rider from one another. We all know Tycoon's is the best. Happy New Year, everybody.
On a similar note, everyone loves Donbrothers. Shinkeno says it's peak. It's Internet Person's favorite moment, Falco's favorite moment, Yoel the Great's favorite moment, Tusky Ranger's favorite moment is the interaction of all the characters in the show. Dragon Nova says that made their year the bestest. The Christmastial Toy Gazer says it's the first time they've watched a Sentai live, so it'll naturally be their favorite. Morpheus says it's just Donbrothers. And Doc Joe also cites all of Donbrothers as their favorite moment, but specifically quotes the moment when Don Momotaro says the name of the theme song. Plenty of you cite specific moments as your favorite part in the show. Firecracker J really enjoyed the debut of Don Oni Taijin. A few of you have really enjoyed the duels throughout the show. Dasukai Noriaki specifically enjoys the first one with Taro claiming victory and Murasame coming to pick up the scraps. Flipper Zito also cites this moment as their favorite in the show. Delta Oval Panda enjoys the first duel not just for the duel between the characters characters, but also for all of the other forces it brought into play, while Ultra just enjoys both dual episodes. Surprisingly, a very recent addition into the show is a few of your favorite moments. The Cooler Ref Garnet, Watermelon, Madam Red, Ibako, and Ugly Boy on YouTube all have multiple reasons and multiple descriptions. For Haruka running over Don Muresame with a car, the mystery of the Juto is definitely a high point within the show. Neil Zabub enjoyed the reveal of Miho as a Juto for the shock value it provided, while Emery Miller enjoyed the similar shock reveal that Jiro was a Juto, while Luna Forge enjoys Jiro just as Jiro. Kijino is the first male Pink Ranger in the show, and obviously that would provide a lot of favorite moments, such as when he betrayed Inuzaka, cited by Barako Go, or the moment when he snitches on Inuzaka. Wait, that's Yush's favorite moment. That's not. Celestia enjoyed some of the shenanigans of the season, like the early red light, green light fight. Taro is SK's favorite moment, specifically for his introduction in the first part of the show, but Storm Warrior and PR Clips enjoys Taro's interactions with the other characters as well. Many of you also greatly enjoy his interactions with Sinoi for specific reasons, such as Bobby the Monkey citing Inoue being Inoue. 2B provides a screenshot of a music video of a duet between the two lovers. Marvy-chan quotes the moment after their first duel for the emotions it provided. Cure DJ enjoys all of their interactions in general, and Shame 08 enjoyed their specific first date ever. But if you watched more than one season or whatever of Toku this year, chances are that you had multiple standout moments of the year. Hikage enjoyed the debut of Command Jet and the debut of the Robotaro forms. Valentine enjoyed Shin Ultraman in its entirety, Toma stepping up as a dad, the showdown between Vale and Genta, and the Punk Jack identity reveal. Cyber Godzilla enjoyed Deathstream's debut and Ultraman Rega's comeback. Two very different kinds of relationships. Deathstream and Vale, Taro and Sonoi are Rodrigo Silva's favorite moments of the year. Similarly, debuts are Media Guy's favorite moments of the year, specifically Deathstream and Goldon Momotaro. Conrad enjoyed the multitude of duels we were provided with in Tokusatsu over the course of the year, as did Avataro Rider Agitaros, specifically citing Deathstream versus Crimson Veil and Don Momotaro versus Sonoi. Which one? Oh, I guess the one from episode 28, as stated by Main, who also quite enjoyed Keiwa's first henshin as Ninja in episode 8 of Geats. DIT Oger provides us a wonderful collection of screen caps of multiple duels and interactions over the course of the year as their favorite moments. Meg Craze just enjoyed the wildly diverse assortment of Rider throughout the year. King J Oger enjoyed the two currently ongoing Toei seasons of Tokusatsu, as does the dark one of Eternal Dread. Cross Zeum just gives us a wonderful list of multiple moments throughout the year as their favorite. The Taro and Sonoi fight, Vale and Deathstream, Ultraman Decker's power-up, Jean's fight with Aguilera, Juga's henshin, and the Geats Riders overall. Amari Harel must really like the merging of separate personalities, because Toradora Gonjin's debut and Evility Live's debut are their favorite moments of the year. And Nabanit Stravan's favorite moment is the Deathstream fight with Vale, but also one specific episode of Donbrothers that gave us the debut of Don Robotaro and Kaito's first time transforming into Zenkaiser Black. Garzilla can't choose between Revice, Geats, Donbrothers, Decker, all have been fantastic. Saber quite enjoyed all of Donbrothers once again, but specifically the moments with the Noto, and in Kamen Rider not only did they enjoy Tycoon's first henshin into Ninja, but also the finale of Black Sun. And lastly, Buster gives us moments from each of the big three. Episode 32 of Donbrothers where Sonoi debuts his power-up, the finale of Black Sun overall, and a moment from Shin Ultraman.
Oh, hello. What's my favorite Toku moment of the year? This is gonna sound really, really cheesy, but I mean it. I think my favorite moment is seeing the community come together and enjoy all these releases and announcements, not just from the Japanese side of Tokusatsu, but also when it comes to American releases, the toys, the Blu-rays, just all of it. It all makes me really happy, and I really hope we get to see more of that in 2023. Also, really like the part when Nobuhiko crushed that guy's head during the transformation of Soul.
And that's exactly why I wanted to make this video. Not only did I want to celebrate how cool of a year this was for tokusatsu media, I also wanted to celebrate this community that watches it. It's amazing how many different moments and scenes and characters and interactions and forms and fights and everything can just fall under this one umbrella that we all seem to be fans of. So in conclusion, 2023 has a lot to live up to, but given what we already know is on the horizon, I do think it has the potential to live up to 2022 and maybe surpass it in every way possible.